a lot of people think that AI is going to make them so much smarter. I don't find that to be the case because people can't think clearly, they can't think specifically, and they ask terrible questions. So when you ask AI, write me a book, what are you going to get? Should I buy Bitcoin? Like, is my investment portfolio de-risked? Like, when you ask it broad, vague questions, you're going to get back terrible answers. And so really these types of people who are unable to think clearly and ask smart, specific questions aren't really going to be able to get the full benefit of a tool like AI.
Facts. Yeah, that is it. Well, so right now I'll say I'm kind of glad because we're in this narrow window that I expect to be very brief where we all still matter in the process, right? So my thing is that so for people that don't know anything about me or know my story, I got into business because I went to film school. I wanted to make movies, and I just could not figure out how to break into the industry. Finally, write a script, gets turned into a film. It was a horrible experience. I was completely devastated. Had met these two very successful entrepreneurs, and they said, listen, man, you're coming to the world with your hand out. And if you want to control the art, you have to control the resources. So you should get into business and get rich. And I was like, yeah, that's a brilliant idea. I thought it would take 18 months. It took 15 years, but it worked. And along the way, I realized all the things that we're talking about here. Skills have utility, that you can control your own life. But it was a very grueling process of realizing all of the things that I try to teach people. But everybody ends up getting locked in that I'm lost and I don't realize I'm lost. And that's the problem. So take taste. This is the biggest thing with AI. If you don't realize that you're asking AI to do something that you don't have any taste in, you're in trouble. So right now, when AI hands me back an answer on like a screenplay that I'm working on, I'll be like, that doesn't make sense. That's cheesy. That's not working. And then the AI is going to say, as it's trained to do, you're right. Now, what if I'm not right? And that's how you get into a death spiral. People either take the first thing it gives them, not understanding the AI is meant to zoom in on what's the most likely thing someone will say, which means it's sort of the most blah answer ever. You've got to get into like a really narrow band over here where it's like, okay, this is unique. This is fresh. I want to bring these different ideas together. No, that's not quite right. And then you can polish on top. And so it basically becomes a way to cut down a lot of work that would otherwise stall you out. Coding is the easy one. It's like as soon as you start, to write that file that you've written 1,000 times, it always has to be like custom built. It just auto-populates.
Right.
And so now it speeds you up, 2, 3, 5, 10x. And it will obviously just keep going and get better. But right now is a pretty magical window where if you have built a set of skills, the AI will extend your capabilities. I think of it like an exoskeleton. Like you can now bend over and pick up a much heavier weight than you could before. But if you're already strong, then it's amplifying a really good base.
Yeah. What I've found is I've been an entrepreneur investor my career since I was 18. I started buying homes in South Central LA, fixing and flipping them, and I've built dozens of businesses and exits and all these things and this wide range of things, and I'm this massive generalist. I'm the jack of all trades, master of none. And for the first time, that's to my benefit because AI can make me instantly deep in each one of those pieces, right? So all of a sudden, to your point, this exoskeleton, like I just feel like I'm just like plugged in and like we can just tap into all this thing. But going back to that for a second, so if the majority of people, back to the mindset thing, don't know what they want, can't think specifically, can't think clearly, don't know what questions to ask, the AI isn't going to help them be any better at it. And so what you're going to have is the small percentage, the 2% of people that you said that are able to ask good questions and are able to think strategically are going to be able to tap into this technology. And those 2% of people will continue to see the smaller amount of narrow this divide between wealth and poor, right? Where the 2% are going to excel and the majority of people don't know how to use the tool and they're going to fall further and further behind. And so it sort of exacerbates that. You did an interview with Mark Andreessen and that was really good and warned about, this AI, information war, things like that. And you talked about, the impact on jobs, which we're sort of talking about. But you said there's one job AI can't do. So is that the hope for some people, what AI can't do?
That anything that we think AI can't do right now will be short-lived. I think ultimately, once AI is truly agentic and embodied and smarter than any human alive, there just isn't going to be anything that AI can't do. Your only thing is it's not human, and some people are going to care deeply about that. I don't think that will be only benefit. I think that there will be violence, what I call from new Puritans, who really eschew certainly the technological augmentation of a human. They're going to rebel against that. We are already bringing back extinct species.
I saw
people
that
that
today.
aren't paying attention. Yep. So first the dire wolf, which hasn't been seen in 10,000 years. Next up, they're doing a woolly mammoth, and like actually bringing them back, not like simulations. Like you can go pet a dire wolf. So humans will eventually start modifying our own DNA, and people are going to have a problem with that. Some people have a problem with that. People are already augmenting themselves with technology. If you've ever seen anybody with a cochlear implant, you've now got the people from Neuralink that can play video games with their minds. And the guys that play it with their minds are saying, you're going to have to create a league for us because we're so much better than people that actually have to use a mouse and keyboard or a controller.
That's a real thing?
Yeah. Right now, this very minute.
Wow. I mean, it is the exoskeleton, right? So we have seen robotics helping people that are paralyzed, things like that. And these are just, to your point, augmented technologies that sort of help us do that. I saw today, and it was all over Twitter, was the Shopify CEO had an internal memo leaked. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't know.
So there was an internal memo leaked from the Shopify CEO, and it mandated that AI usage be a fundamental expectation for all employees. So you won't get a job at Shopify if you're not proficient in it. But even more than that, integrating AI proficiency into performance reviews and encouraging AI exploration in project prototyping. So now getting the job is a requirement. Well, having AI skills is a requirement to get the job. But in your job reviews, if you're not growing in your skill and proficiency with it, that will count against you in your job performance.
For sure.
For sure.
Now, is that getting backlash?
Well, what happened is it got leaked. And so it was like going all over, Twitter. And so the CEO came out and said, hey, here it is. Boom. And just like put it out there.
Yeah. Like that seems so self-evident. And you said at the beginning, like you're either going to use it or you're going to get replaced by somebody who uses it.
I mean, that's what I'm telling my internal team.
100%.
Yeah.
Everybody should be. It's crazy.
Right.
Like if you're not saying that, you're going to get blindsided.
You're going to get blindsided. And we have this, you said we have this period of time, you said where we still matter. I was thinking something different. The saying is that the future is not evenly distributed. And so I tell my team we have about a year before everybody catches up.
Yeah.
And so if we go super hard right now, we have about a year to really gap people. And I think that's going to be super important.
Man, we're having those same conversations inside Impact Theory for sure.